Oh, he's getting it now.
Hey everyone, welcome to Heavy Metal Custom. Next project we got going on is this hood. Now this is from that 62 Chevrolet Impala that here a little while back we done the full exhaust on. Well, apparently it had a bad hood on it, so we went and picked up this one here. And I've done got the paint ordered. Supposed to be a factory color that's on there. I hope it matches up pretty good. But we're going to get this hood sanded down and get some rust fixed on it. I'll show you the rust later when we flip it over and get to the top. That's the spot in the front there. We're going to have to cut out, put some new metal in, but no big deal, we can do that. But the hardest part about this probably is getting all of this sanded underneath. All these crooks and crevices and everything, quite a pain. I done went through here and took some of the rust reformer. I put it in a spray can. We sprayed some of the areas down here that needed it. And let it soak over the weekend so we can get to working on this. Yeah, I'm going to start underneath first because that's the hardest. And let's see here. We can start off with a big drum sander, get the big stuff that we can get. And then for a bunch of little stuff, probably have to use this here, get in some of these crooks and crevices, and little spots. So let me grab a extension cord and get on this here and get to stripping. All right, this is going to make a big mess. Get it turned up all the way. Let's let it rip. That's how we do the whole thing. And also, once we get this thing stripped down, how well y'all can see this. But these are flexing, and it shouldn't be. So after we get it all stripped down, what we do is take some seam sealer. See where these pinch points are right there, smashed down, filled in the seam sealer. That'll keep the hood from, having that ripple and that flex in it. And that, 100% you need to do. Every time this thing's open and slams shut, people shake, 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 they end up cracking paint clear. But yeah, do that. It's always just good to do it the proper way. But all right, I'm gonna kill the camera for now. Y'all see me use this thing 100 times. Once you see what it would do, it does a good job on flat areas. But I'm gonna keep on keeping on, and we'll see what we got once we get her all sanded out. All right, I finally got the underneath of this hood sanded. I know, right? That took me, I kept up with the time, 6 hours. Now we have issues. As you can see, we do have rust. It's nothing that's going to make us throw the hood away. There right there, we'll have to cut and repair. But she's got some pretty good pitting in her. where the factory decal was right there, I was saying. Yeah, she does have some rust and some pits on her. But like I say, we can we'll fix these bad ones up front. As far as under the hood, we'll just clean it up really good. We're trying to get all these acorns and trash and rust out of it. That's going to be a job. But yeah, we'll get it cleaned up really well. Get our stuff underneath our points there to keep the vibration from happening. And then I'm just going to really lay that epoxy sealer on there, and it's got a rust inhibitor in it as well. That's why I use that particular brand. But I may put 3 or 4 coats of it on here before I do the high build underneath. But hey, at least we made it this far. I'm glad I took the route of the hardest part first. Now, let me get this thing flipped over, and we'll start on the top. All right, got it flipped over. I just came back from lunch. And here's what we're looking at. Well, it's got some deep scratches in it back here, but when I'm taking it all down the middle anyway, like I say, she'll get plenty of epoxy and high build primer. A little rust spot there, not a big deal. A couple of little surface spots there. It's when we get to the front. And when I sand this, y'all be able to see it better. But I can see a crack right there. That's thin. That's rusted. That's definitely rusted through. You can see through that. And there was another one. Maybe that's one I've seen. Yeah. Yeah, I can see how that's rusted. That's all dented in. I'm afraid that from here to about here is nothing but Bondo and up on here. Y'all see them cracks right there? Yeah, I'm afraid we're going to run into Bondo there and have to redo some work. I thought this front lip would be rusted through, but it isn't as what I see now. But we'll know more once I get her sanded. All right, let me grab my drum sander and see what we can do with this. Hopefully this comes off of there nice and easy. I know this drum ain't square across, but we're going to use it. It ain't that thick, but it's really hard. And see a hole right there. Huh. Well, we got to be careful too. The thing about it, guys, use this big thing here, it will really eat some paint off. But you don't want to make a lot of heat and warp your panels, especially like on this hood where the supports are not even attached to it. So it'd be easy to warp. So what I'll do is, just like you've seen here, just make a pass. I'm not bearing down on it, just letting the weight of the sander do the work. I'll do the whole hood in one pass like that, and then come back and probably go this way, then come back and go this way. It'll take 3 or 4 times maybe to get it all the way down the middle. But I'll do that so I don't sit here and create a bunch of heat in one spot by just digging, trying to get that metal on my first go around. But yeah, so just be careful, because something like this make a lot of heat. Hey, a DA, any type of sander is going to make heat. And, you know, you just got to watch it. You don't want to mess up something. We're here to fix it, not mess it up. But, wonder what other kind of surprises we find. Like I say, that's definitely a rust hole right there. Yeah, well, whatever it is, we'll just have to fix it. I'm going to get busy. Well, I finally got this thing all sanded down. It took 5 hours to sand the top of this. So that was using the drum sander and this big disc type sander here and the little one. And man, that paint came off good. It was whatever was under it. Primer, more paint, different stuff. It was really, really stuck on. Here's what we got, y'all. Rust. That'll have to be cut out, new piece put in. Same here. It wasn't full of Bondo. It was just a bunch of paint cracks. We've got little rust spots like this here that we're going to have to work on. Over here we got rust hole, dent. Rust hole, rust hole, dent. I'm sure there's more dents in it. We'll find that once we get some high build on it and block sand it. We've got a rust hole there. Bunch of little bitty ones back there. Rust hole, rust. And I have fixed worse than this. It's rusted through, rust hole, little rust hole. These are little bitty ones. These little ones right here. High build will almost fill them in. But I just wanted to mark them, because a lot of times with stuff like that, I'll take like icing and just go over them to get them super smooth out. Because like I say, don't depend on your high build and stuff. Do your body work. Then let your high build do this job afterwards. But yeah, a lot of these little ones, we could get away with some filler on. But these here, we could actually fill them. We could fiberglass all of them. If the customer wants me to go that route, except for these. Definitely have to cut them out and to put new metal in there. But yeah, that's it's got her sanded down. So the next thing to do is contact the customer and tell them it's in worse shape than what we thought, and what we have to do to repair it. And then I need to get to work. And yeah, I'm going to be using some of the rust stuff on here, especially here. I've already sanded that. So yeah, it's going to have to be rust treated. Luckily there's a piece that goes across there, a piece of chrome, and then the emblem. You can see the outline here that goes there. I think that emblem's what held a lot of that water for that rust too. Yeah. But yeah, that's got it, guys. So let's carry on and see what we can do with it. All right, guys. When I flip the hood over, I do have pad under there. And before I went in for break, went ahead and took the seam sealers. You can see all this black and mushed it all in there so that it will hold the ribs to the hood. There won't be no flexion. But before we flip the hood over and go to working on all the problems it has on the top, these here I want to go ahead and take care of. As you can see, that's factory. Piece of metal jots out under that one. This one's sort of closed. And what I'm going to do is just clean them up and even them. A little bit of a high spot here. This one straight across. Yeah. Alright, so what I'm going to do is grab me some gloves, some electricity. And all I got here is just my cut-off wheel, and I'm just going to clean these up. Quick, easy, and low cost. looks a lot better. We'll do this in just about the same way. I don't see anything wrong with that. That looks really good. Fire up the air compressor and we'll finish him off. All right. Let's take this little guy right here and he'll finish us off. That looks pretty good. Put this upside real quick. Outstanding. All right, now, stay right there. That looks pretty good. We don't really need to worry about any of these other ones under the hood. Like I say, guys, I'm trying to keep this within their budget. So with that in mind, that's the way I'm going to be working. So yeah, that all looks good. A little bit of rust was there. I got it taken care of just by cutting a little bit off. All right, now let me flip this hood over, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty of it. All right, let's go ahead and get these two cut out. And then we'll start fabbing them. That's the worst ones that we have, so we'll start with them first. If I can make a pretty much a straight line, that would be nice. There's one of them. All right, let me go ahead and cut out this other side. I'll do that off camera right quick. Get this cleaned up using this. Dude, we got to get some treatment on that rust right there, no doubt. Yeah, get all that cleaned up the best I can. Got my Eastwood rust converter. I put it in a spray bottle, but apparently it ate up the mechanism. It don't want to spray no more. It's all right. We don't care how we get it on there, as long as we get it on there, right? Right. Get it all pushed up in there. Should put on some rubber gloves for this, but it is what it is, right? Go ahead and get these just down through here too while I'm there. I gotta say, I am pretty impressed by the Eastwood stuff. Seems to work really well. On the floor. All right, I'm happy with that. I'm gonna throw this away and put this stuff up. Just leave this stuff sitting right here. We're gonna need it again pretty soon. All right. While all of that's curing, we'll have to do a second coat on it anyway. Let's go ahead and take care of all these other rust spots. And what I'm going to do is just basically cut the rust out of them. This little bit here, this bit I normally use it back when I did a lot of engine work, important polishing heads and intakes and things, and it worked really well. I think it worked good for what we want here. Let's do it. One bit of the rust. Yeah, let it get right down to good level. That's where we're at. Get on the other side. Break this one here. Some of y'all saying, "Roger, this is the drill bit." Well, I don't really want to get that aggressive with it. Let's look the rust down. Jump on that other side and dip. there. Alright, I think I got them all whole. I think. Yep. Yeah, I got them all. Pop back over. Yep, and the cones it used to be. Pop it stuff where you at. Now, in all them holes that you're doing, we'll get you rusted and get it down in them. We'll put a second coat on this stuff right quick. I'm going to go ahead and do it off camera. And after that, it's just a matter of letting this thing sit and letting this stuff cure. We could go ahead and make a piece of front there. Yeah, we'll probably do that. So let me get this rust inhibitor put in all these spots so I know that something's in there and will help fight that rust from coming back. And then we'll work on these. Alright, got my rust converter on there. And I went ahead and got it. Well, got a lot in that one, didn't I? But I got all these so that they could be cooking. And all the other little bitty rust spots, I just went ahead and hit them with the rust converter. I mean, why not? It's going to help. It's all good, right? Yeah. And as you can see, there's a lot of them little bitty spots. So, got that done. As far as these go, I'm just going to wait. It won't take me that long to cut them out. I've already got them drawn out on a new piece of metal. But I'd like for this to just sit here and dry. That rust converter needs to do its thing. And that seam sealer I put underneath, it needs to dry before I go pushing on the top and stuff and mushing it out and everything. So this thing needs to sit here the rest of the day and the night, and I should be able to work on it tomorrow. But yeah, that'll work. We will reconvene tomorrow. All right. Next day, of course, I was using some icing on another job. I had some left over, so I come and hit them rust spots. I was talking about them very minor ones, and that icing will fill that in just fine. But what I've done here is I have my pieces welded in, and yes, I've done that on purpose. I just done a bunch of stitch welds on this and left some openings. We're going to fix it to put on some fiberglass, and I want that fiberglass to really go in there. I mean, go in there, because this is a hood. It gets open and slammed, a lot of vibration, so we want the best hold possible. Before I start, I'm going to grab some tape and hit these holes so I don't glass them up. But yeah, I've got that all ready. It's prepped. Dent, all my holes, they're prepped and ready to go. So I use this USC Duraglass here. So let's tape up them holes right there and get us some glass mixed up, and we'll get this thing done. See what kind of shape this fiberglass is in. Oh, it's fine. Bottom of the bucket. We're going to get it scooped out of there. Oh, don't be a pain now. Behave. It ain't like we need a ton of it neither, right? rather mix up too much than not enough. That should do it. If not, we'll mix up some more. No biggie. Mix it up a little bit so a bunch of liquid don't come out. As y'all know me, I'm gonna mix it a little hot. So it's only 64 in here, so it ain't warm. Yeah, we had some nice weather earlier this week. Yesterday I was out here with the doors open. It was in the 70s. Well, we had that rain come through last night, and of course a cold front. Y'all know how that goes. It's true what they say about Tennessee. If you don't like the weather, just hang around a little bit. It'll change. Trying to get a good mix up here. I think that's pretty good. All right. Getting them rust holes first. And literally, I was standing in front of the camera, sorry guys. Literally taking it, putting it down in the hole, pushing it, and rake it, push it, rake it, push it, rake it. I like to get it right on the corner. It's easier to do that with. Okay, got him. I'll put this guy over here. It's going to be a real pain, ain't it? We'll just keep pushing at it. That one's been driving me up the wall. I can see that right now. Yeah. There's the popo. Hopefully nothing too bad. Cold Hill Road there. What is it? We'll see it on Facebook later. See the way I'm mashing that in there. Get off there. You really want to get that fiberglass down and mash down in there really well. Not bad. Here we go, not bad at all. Might have to go over them a couple of times, but I just want to get a good slab of fiberglass. You really down in there. And I'm going to get in there very well. Take the time, stop, look. I sure didn't miss any. Sometimes that is easy to do. Well, I didn't miss doing. Missed off an hour with the icing. But we'll be getting the icing out again. It's no big deal. What? Now the hurry up and wait thing. If let this stuff cure, it'll probably be tomorrow. And come out here. We can start sanding and see what we have. Well, all right. The next day, I came out here this morning and took my DA with some 80 grit and hogged off all of that fiberglass. Got it down there pretty good. And all them rust spots are looking decent. Of course, we're going to go over with some plastic filler too. The dents, got them pretty close with the fiberglass. And of course, the front. Like I say, guys, I just run through here and hogged all that off the best I could with the DA. So now, off camera, because y'all seen me do this a million times, I'm going to grab my USC Chromate. This is a light auto body filler. I really like this stuff. It mixes up well, goes on well, and just good product in my opinion. But I'm going to go ahead and mix me up some of that. We'll get it slapped on all these spots here. And today's Saturday. So this thing will sit over the weekend. We'll come out here Monday and sand it off. So hit it a little bit with the DA, finish up with a block sander, and just see what we got. Alright guys, finishing up a few spots there where I had to put some more icing. Yeah, can't even talk with that. Well, I've got everything else done. Filler's been sanded, icing's been put on, just finished sanding it. Everything's dry. I think the top of this thing is ready to go. I do want to flip it over and check underneath, and I'll put some tape under there. I want to make sure some of that fiberglass and whatnot did come through the mush out somewhere. If it did, we need to clean that up. So let's go ahead and flip her over, because I think that top's done. I mean, it's looking pretty good so far. Like I say, we'll get some epoxy on there. And then some high build primer and block it. And that'll tell us if we got any more dents or something that we haven't seen. But yeah, let me flip it over and we'll check the underside. I'm going to check it out the underside of it. Let's see here, I got the tape over here. And it's done what it was supposed to do, and held that fiberglass in. So that way when I put the fiberglass in that rust hole that it drilled out, it'll go down and go against the center structure and make a solid piece, more or less. Well, I have some over here. Perfect, perfect. All right, the other side of the hood looks pretty good. I think the welding line. Well, it's going to break off there. Come on. There. All right, I think underneath is fine. All your stuff dried real good. Now we got some rigidity back to the hood. Yeah, I'm not complaining about any of this, guys. This thing looks good. Now, the next thing we got to do is get this into the paint booth. We got to get this thing washed, and that's going to be a pain in the butt. We've seen remnants, maybe a squirrel or something, and chunks of acorns and whatnot, crack and rust. down in these presses. It's really glass washing, really good to get all of that out. And let's see what we can do about getting it to the paint booth and getting it set up and ready. All right, I got that washed. I washed it yesterday, actually, and let it sit out here and dry overnight. Everything seems to dry well. Come out here this morning, wiped her down with Windex. So we are ready to start shooting. First up, we're going to be using this black Rust Killer Epoxy Primer Sealer. Now guys, this stuff is thin. It says 1-to-1 mix ratio. No. I'll do a 3-to-1 and shoot it out of this DeVelvis finish line gun with a 1.3 tip. And after we get a couple coats of that on there, we'll go to the black Superfill 2K urethane primer. Now, it is a 4-to-1 mix, and that's how I'll mix it, with 10% thinner so it'll lay smooth. And I'll use the same gun, but I'll change over to this 1.8 tip here and needle. So yeah, this is what I use for most of my primers. I like this little gun. It leaks a little around here, so I got to tape that up, but no big deal. It shoots well. All right, well, let me get everything mixed up, put it in the paint shaker over there, and we'll get to shooting. Well, one mix made enough to get a good coverage. You don't have to lay this stuff on like real thick, like it's high build primer or anything. Just get a coat on it. It'll do what it's supposed to do. It's epoxy sealer, and it's got that rust inhibitor in it. So it's going to do its job. Now what we're going to do, seeing as it's a bit cool, let's see what temp is there in the paint booth. Yeah, we're at about 65 degrees. I'm going to give this stuff a good 30 minutes to set up really well before we start our high build primer. I may give it longer than that. I'll just come there and check on it. But after that, high build primer time. Alright guys, got my high build mixed up in the gun. We're ready to go. Gotta get all my gear on. Right, I'm ready. just finished that up. I've got 3 coats of high build on there. Like I say, guys, there's not a whole lot I can do about underneath this hood. I mean, rust pits are just rust pits. But, yeah. I mean, I could have put some icing in there. But after it slammed a couple of times, it probably would have rattled right out. So there ain't no sense doing that. But I was trying to save the hood, and I believe I accomplished that. Not looking too shabby. I got a bad spot right there. I don't know if it's a run or what. It looks like a little paint run. That's fine. That is fine. Yeah, we got 3 coats on there. What our temperature end up being in here? I cranked the heat up. We got maybe 66. All right. I'm leaving this to sit here the rest of the day. It's about lunchtime today, and it'll sit the rest of the day and sit all night. And then we'll come out here tomorrow and block sand it and see what we have. Well, she sit here and dry it overnight. See, that's pretty good. By putting that thinner in there, it lays it out really flat. You don't have that roughness like you do most time with the high build. At least for me, it works out that way. So, I mean, the underside of this hood, I'm not even going to touch it. I mean, except for, you know, after we get everything ready for paint, I do have to spray a gray, like seal coat on this, because this light bluish color requires a gray underneath it. But that's fine. Let's see how this other side turned out. Yeah. Yeah, that looks really good. Yep, and that is just a run right there. It's a little wrinkle of primer, and that's fine. That'll sand right out. Yeah, it all feels good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. All right, well, cool. That's took us a while to get to this point, no doubt about that. But hey, I'm happy with the way it's turning out. So it's a so far so good sort of thing. Things turned out good. We'll know more when we get it sanded down. But we're definitely out of time for this week. And I know this has got to be a long video. So we're going to call it. So y'all throw down what you think about the work that we've done. And keep your eye out for the next video where we get this thing block sanded. And see if we got any more body work to do. If we do, we'll get that done. And then we'll get a gray coat on there, like primer sealer coat. Then we can move on to paint and clear. This is going to be cool, and I think it's going to turn out great. But y'all have to wait the next episode to see all that happen. But I do appreciate you watching this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you would, throw us down some comments. Hit us up on Patreon and Super Thanks. And please like, share, and subscribe. Again, appreciate it much. Till the next one, we hope that everyone has a fantastic day.